All right. Happy Monday out there.
Happy
The
Monday.
music was so nice, I just thought I'd let it play. I was getting in the groove there, so sorry about that long introduction, but I think the music is cool. You're listening to Keeping It Real on City World Radio. We're coming at you live in the heart of Manhattan, and I'm really very excited about my guests this evening. I will tell you about that in a little bit. We have a prolific playwright here, and her name is Jahidah Diaab. And we have also Lynnette Joy Arthur, who's the narrator, right, of her play, which we will get into in a few minutes. I'm here with my co-host Ed Cross.
Hello, everybody.
And via telephone, Mr. McKinney, Tom McKinney. Hello, Tom.
Hi, how's everyone this evening? Hello.
All right, be
Great.
all right, Tom.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
We have a lovely young ladies, and I'm going to let you, Jahidah, start with, first of all, where are you from, and what you would like to tell us about you, and then we'll go into the questions.
Well, I'm originally from Queens, East Elmhurst, New York, and I've been writing since I was 7 years old, and
Wow, since
I've been writing since I was very young. I just take my thoughts about life and I write about it, and it's therapy for me. It's great. It's fun. It's a safe place.
It'll be fun for us, too.
Yeah.
because that was going to be one of my first questions, like how did you become a writer, and when did you start writing plays, and did you first start out acting, or
I've always been a performer. Lynnette and I both have performed together and done creative things together. We're both very creative people. But I never sit down and say I'm going to write a play or a book or a song. It's just an inspiration, and then the words come, and then I have to document them quickly so they don't get away from me.
but how does it turn into a play?
You know,
if you're not specifically writing it as a play, how
okay,
does it?
so for this play, and it's basically, it covers every aspect of time, religion, love, humanity, but it's a comedy, and there's lots of music behind it, and it will make you laugh. So basically, I do a lot of thinking on the train, like I guess we all do, and I was thinking a lot about life and history, and you know, people say life is so bad, life is so hard, life is getting worse and worse, and I always say to myself, really, you know, 400 years ago, life was pretty bad.
Yeah.
4,000 years ago, life was pretty bad. You know, and there's a lot of bad, but then there's a lot of good.
Yeah.
And so I'm always thinking about religion and time and history and humanity and people and how we evolve and your mind. So anyway, long story short, I'm on the train thinking about all this stuff, and then I just start getting.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I have a question. Good evening, first of all. It seems that you're expressing a significant art form and an artistic expression. What are some of the motivational factors that stimulate your writing? What are some of the? Do you draw that from your environment? You know, like when you're on the train, do you find the surroundings motivational? How do you
Well,
find your motivation?
I think for this particular play, I mean, we have other productions, but for this particular play, it's like what Lynnette was saying. I draw it from my personal experience. I grew up in the Nation of Islam, and then at 16, I converted to a very radical movement of Christianity. So 10 years after that, I left it and had to kind of find my own way. And I think what Lynnette is talking about, because the story, I think it's a human story.
I think it's a coming of age story.
Oh, you do?
So yeah.
Because I think there are aspects in all of our lives when we can sort of, you know, there's our childhood, our adolescence, how we're raised, the values that get instilled within us, the customs that get passed down to us, the religion that gets fed to us. And there comes a point sort of in everyone's life where you choose whether to continue on that path or make your own.
All right, I like that.
And the great thing about this story is it is about this young lady who creates her own path. But of course, it's not without, some obstacles and some bumps in the road, and really just sort of trying to find out who she is and what is her place sort of in the world.
Oh, okay.
Your life is shaped when you're a child through religion, through culture,
Right.
through how people interact with you, all of it. And it can be a wonderful thing, it can be a traumatic thing, it depends. And so I think that my experiences I put on paper, but the difference with me is I'm one of those people, if it's raining, I'm like, well, the grass is going to grow.
Exactly.
And so no matter what happens in my life, I write about it, but there's a flip and a twist where it's funny. And so you're going to come to the play and you're going to laugh. Like one of the characters is taken after my dad, and growing up, I would come in the house as a kid and I'd be like, "Oh, Daddy, I'm so hot." He's like, "'Cause that's all that pork you eating,"
Yeah.
So everything that went wrong in our life was because of the pork. Just finding her place in life, but it's really not my story. I think it's a human story because throughout the play, you just see how everyone has their own idea about what is right. You're joining us, you can go on. I love technology now. You can just, if you got your phone on, and you can go to picketsignpassion.com.
Yes.
And see the website and see a little bit about the story. Here's some of the music. I mean, the website tells a story about what this play is about. And again, it's fun. I showed a flyer to a woman, and she saw the flyer, and it was a woman in a hijab, and she was holding a book that could have been a Bible or could have been a Quran, and she was like, "This seems pretty deep." I'm like, "It's so not deep."
But deep in its own
Deep in its
regard.
own way. Yeah, there are some
Yeah.
parts where it will make you think,
Yeah.
but then there are parts that'll make you laugh. Some that may make you a little weepy, but it's a fun story.
Where can we see this play?
At the Producers Club
Okay, and that's
on 4th.
yeah. Before you
Repeat the
do that,
place.
how many days?
3 days.
3 days.
Yes.
And what other
Friday
days?
and Saturday, the shows will start at 7 p.m. And on Sunday, we have a matinee at 3.
Okay.
June 23rd, June 24th, and June 25th.
All right. Okay.
And we would like
Sounds
to keep
good.
the show running.
Yes.
So, we're looking for investors or music producers or anyone that can help us to keep the show going. Because now that it's formulated, we'd like to keep it up and running.
Okay, all you out there, please come to the show. Not only to
And
support it,
support.
not only to support it, but to enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, you're going to
And
enjoy
then
it.
as Jahidah said, if you have any investors out there looking for something great to invest in, you might want to take a look into this.
Or even producers
Definitely.
that want to
Producers.
produce. Because my dream is just to write and create. But until then, I've got to produce my
So
own
you
shows.
need so you're looking for a producer.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this play.
Oh, we're so glad
Yeah.
you're coming.
It is exciting.
But-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mentioned before, it's what you said, it's for a child then venturing on a journey somewhat.
If you think about your childhood, if you think about the things that your parents instilled in you, the values, and if you think about yourself as an adult now, where you are, the choices you've made, how much of what was instilled in you in childhood plays a part in the decision making you make now?
All right. Okay. I like
And
that
we're
because
always, Tom, you can get in on this. We're always talking about that here, right?
Right. Well, that was the point I was trying to make prior to the what you were just saying. I see your vehicle seems to be somewhat humor in this particular play. And I was wondering how do you derive humor from your everyday experiences or your childhood experience?
I think with the play, I think a lot of it has to do with the characters. So, for instance, after she transitions from Nation of Islam to this radical Christianity, and the character has always been kind of a rebel, one of those she just cannot walk the line.
Yes.
And I mean, starting from hiding a ham sandwich
I was
under
gonna
her
say,
bed,
yes.
right? But we use this character just to show how everyone is so different. And you just cannot put people in a box. And, I've had 2 very radical religions in my life. And coming out of both of them and still being in touch with a higher power, what I truly believe is you cannot put that higher power in a box. You can call them whatever you want to call them. But you cannot put that energy in a box, and you cannot give it a label and say this is what it is, and everyone has to do it this way.
Right.
And so, this character comes from two very strong places where that is. And so we use the humor by using the characters, like Big Ibn, who everything he says is nope, 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 nope. So
Now that's funny.
see, there you go. So we just take the real life people in real life and we make them characters on the stage, and then we just add a lot of fun songs. Like we have a song called Jezebel, and that's the whole church scene. Oh my gosh, you should see the Reverend. Her name is LaShawn. She plays the pep rally preacher, we call her. And it just it doesn't spoof spirituality or people's faith, because that is something, no matter what you believe, should always be honored.
Yes.
It spoofs the dramatics behind the faith,
Emotionalism. Yes.
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 And so we created this character, and she's the pep rally preacher, and she does a whole sermon. It's called Sermon on the Sow, the pig.
Yes, you are.
Angela Valentine,
Oya Bangora.
Yeah. Joie, and then Laura, of course, is my co-producer, but she's in it as well. She makes me laugh all the time.
Ovita.
Ovita. Yeah, just people that... Oh, Ovita is our lighting person. And you know what? Can I just say something about my lighting director? Everyone says we look alike. But she understood. She grew up the same way I did. Nation, So
Right.
It was just very comforting. And then Lynnette and I went to this organization, the church. So for me, it was also very comforting to know that there were people in my production team that understood part of the story.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Because, you can't give people your work and they don't understand it, and then they have to work with you to bring it to life.
Yeah.
Right.
They have to have some kind of a connection with it, or else,
Yeah, well, a connection gives you a head start. It gives you more.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I was just going to say, when you've lived in an extreme, and this world is full of extremes, that helps one understand sort of a show like this, which talks about sort of that juxtaposition, between being in the nation, strict Muslim background, and then being in a Christian. Well, the idea, because I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there really is, and the great thing about Jahidah is she's so prolific in the way that she writes. And just the idea of her thinking that, my story can reach someone else who's gone through it. But the Mushtin mentality is, when you take a Muslim and a Christian and you blend them together in one brain.
Okay.
So it just becomes a Mushtin.
All right.
Is he laughing?
Yes.
He's laughing. You get it? Okay, that's a good thing.
So for a long time,
it took a minute.
Yes.
He's like, okay, yeah.
Yes, a Mushtin mentality. A
You got it.
Mushtin. Yes.
So there's a whole narration on that.
They don't speak. I mean,
No, they do speak, but the
they-
narrators
And sing.
but
And
what-
they sing,
Oh, they
yes.
speak and sing, and then the narrator.
The narrator sort of provides like an overview. And
Okay.
one of the great challenges and exciting things for me doing this role is that I literally got to take this character from childhood to death. Because she grows old during the play.
Transitioning.
She
we're calling it.
transitions.
And Nikki in the rehearsal, I'm sorry, but she was doing her role and she had everyone laughing. She was like, "This is where I died." And we were like, "You're not dying. You're transitioning."
Yeah.
It's so funny watching Nikki be an old lady. She had the whole class laughing.
I can imagine.
Now, Jahidah, do you do all the writing, or do you have help with?
I do all of
She
it.
does
No,
it all.
all on your own. No one
The
helps. you?
songs,
Wow.
the narrations, the monologues.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Wow.
All right.
Yeah. It's
Would
a
you say,
blessing
Tom?
and a curse.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe you had some people help. So
The music,
what is your
yes, I
title?
could not do this music without the music producer, Derek Christopher. And he was put in touch with me by Song Corley of Malag Syndrome. And Derek and I just were like peanut butter and jelly. And literally, he'll say something, and I'm like, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to write a song. And then I walk to the store, and I write a song, and he sends me a track, and we play with it. And in 3 days, we have a song. And that's how I like to write with people, because my writing comes like that. So I can't work with someone that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to it next week. Man, I got 5 songs in a week, you know? And we just work together so well, and it just has helped. I mean, literally, we started this project in November. and it has turned into a beast and it's April.
That's a short time, yeah.
I want to ask Lynnette, how in tune are you with the cast, because you're going to be narrating in terms of character?
And
It seems that,
Just
that's
listen.
so hard for people to do. It's actually
we're
a
gonna do
skill.
it in this play.
Yes.
Narration is all throughout.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the
Very
great
good.
thing is you see you hear the narration, and you watch it played out.
Absolutely.
She sets up the life, what's happening in her life, and how she's feeling, and then you watch it play out.
And I'm very close to the lead character, Nakia. So just the idea that I know who's playing this character
Right.
just makes it more meaningful to me. You know, the idea that I'm taking her literally from her childhood to an old woman.
Right.
It is pretty amazing in the aspect that it's like the story of our lives. If someone were to narrate the story of your life, you know, your life, what would that be? What would they say? What are the moments that, you know what I mean, you came to a crossroads and you had to make a decision? Or if someone had to narrate your thoughts out loud, what would that sound like?
And I think that for me, that's the scary part. Because
When
you
you're
and you worry, not worry, but you think, oh man, maybe they won't get that, and and then you have to say, no, it's out there now.
Right.
And people will receive it however they receive it. And so far, people have really been receiving it. They've been laughing. But then Laura, she said to me when she heard, there's a scene called Dark Days. And it's a scene that is very moving. And up to this point, you've been laughing and keying, and it's fun. You're enjoying the songs. And then you get this scene. And she said, I'm really glad that there are moments in the play like this. And I won't give it away, but, you know, it's like, you know, Lynnette said, we all go through life, and there are good things. There are things that aren't good. There are happy things. There are things that we tell everyone. There are things that we hide.
Yeah.
And we all have a story to tell. And you have to make it, you know, make it your own and just tell it and have fun with
And
it.
you know that quote, they say you gotta laugh to keep from crying. You know.
Very
Yeah.
true.
You gotta
It's
learn
true.
to find the humor, right? In life, even as hard as it is, you really have to learn to sort of navigate and try to find some humor and not,
And stay connected.
and stay connected.
Well, the whole that whole final scene when she's much older, it does speak to that. You know, I care for my mother, and my mother's in her last stages of Alzheimer's, and I'm very, you know, transparent about that. And people always say, "Oh, it's so sad." Oh, I'm like, you know what? Until you care for someone who's in that and can have the ability to care for them, it's not a sad thing. It's a part of life. It's a transitioning of life. It's not easy, but if you can still connect and give some kind of care, that's where the joy is.
Yes.
That's what I've learned. It's when you can't connect
Yes,
and people become disposable. That to me is a sad place to be.
that is.
So anyway, I'm just saying that you see that we speak about that, but it's funny.
It is funny.
In the end, you see these
her-
old people. It's funny.
She definitely becomes this feisty old woman.
The more you grow, it's easier for you to laugh.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't take yourself serious.
And by the end, she's like, I told him not to do it. I told him.
Exactly.
You know?
So you see a lot, and you know, there's a lot of fun songs, and you know, it's a fun show.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it sounds like a very intricate and moving story. What was the process by which you were able to do casting? How did you get people who were a part of, you know, who really were reflective of what you're trying to say?
Jahidah has a great village. I
guess
think that's the
so.
best way to put it. There are
That's a great way to
people,
put it, yeah.
friends, you know, loved ones, talent that she's known throughout the years. But I'm thinking like almost everybody in the cast, a majority of them you've either worked with before, known very well, and they have been in your life for some time.
Not just creatively, personally.
Yeah. Yes.
Tina Turner.
Jahidah does a mean Tina
you
Turner
were saying that. I want to see
impersonation.
that. I
I
definitely
would
want to
love
see
to
that.
see.
Hopefully one day she'll revive her.
I
Tina's
wanna
been
see
asleep
that.
for a while.
So I've been a Tina Turner backup dancer back in the day.
20 years now, right?
Wow.
And then, well, see, the thing is, Jahidah's done so much. Not only the Tina Turner, she's done an album. She came out with an album. Yahoo!
Oh my
Yah-ha.
God.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is like the third play she's written. She's also written a book. So this woman right here literally has done it all. And I think it comes from the heart. And I think true talent, it doesn't come from a training. You know,
Okay.
there's but so much training that can be done.
Right.
There's something innate within her that just sort of allows her to express this
So you haven't
freely.
had any and
I never went to school for
acting
writing
training
or acting, or
Wow.
I just went to school for dance.
Right. Now the people she works with have, like I've
Right.
had,
Yes.
you know, back in the day.
She go and tell him.
No, okay,
Tell him. Don't tell him.
No, but I've done, you know, I've done some national commercials. Again, this was a while ago. So this really,
You do look familiar.
really, oh, thank
Yes.
you.
And she's amazing, like photo person. Like she takes these amazing pictures. Today, look, good thing we on the radio
I love her hair
because
but
we're looking very scraggly. But you should see this woman's Facebook.
No,
Oh my gosh.
I've been videotaping.
Oh Lord. Okay, good.
No, you look
Lord have
great.
mercy.
No, you look
Thank you.
great.
We're coming from work. Like I said, we work with children all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can imagine.
You said something very profound, Lynnette. You said it comes from the heart.
It comes from the
And
heart.
then
It's
you follow
innate.
your heart.
You follow your heart.
You see, that's what you do.
That's truly a talent. I mean, that's a gift.
And that's
Yeah, to
the
be-
word you said, gift. I was just talking to a coworker at my job. You know, I mentioned can I say his name, Steve Harvey?
Sure.
Steve Harvey. I was mentioning Steve Harvey. I said, you listen to Steve Harvey because he always talks about gifts, and he says anything you can do that you don't have to think about is a gift. And people say, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I'm like, I can't tell you how. And that's when I say it's a gift, and I thank God for the gift, and I keep it moving. I can't explain it, but now if you gave me, like I said, an Excel sheet and said, put all the cast members' name, I'd run like the wind because that's not my gift. You know what I mean?
Right,
Everyone
right.
has their gift.
Gift,
Everyone,
exactly.
you know, Lynnette, she is so creative. The things she does with children, you know, she has websites of the amazing things she does with children, how she just connects with people. It's a gift. It's not something
Right.
you learn. And so that's where I really believe that the higher power, you just say, thank you.
Yes.
And I'll use it as best as I can.
Exactly. And I think that's where you hit. I will use my gift as best as
Right.
you can.
You know, working
Yes.
with children, did you get any lessons from them? I mean, in terms
Oh
of-
my gosh.
You just
That's a
posted one
whole
the other
other show waiting to happen.
Oh my gosh. I know we're just doing a radio show on what we
Yes.
learn from children.
Absolutely.
That's
I mean,
funny.
the whole idea, you know, the age group we work with is they're the younger sect, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds. And when you think of like that time in life, it really is, I call it the crooks of civilization because they're learning everything.
I love
Right.
that.
How to take care of themselves, how to navigate in a world of peers, how to negotiate, how to share, how to learn to start thinking outside themselves. And those are skills that sort of we see evolve in our classroom. So at the beginning of the year, I always joke, and I'm like, my class is so feral at the beginning of the year because they've sort of used to be only being at home and sort of
Right.
being catered to, and now they have to come into a group of 20 kids and learn to be a community. And how do we learn that? How do we learn things like being a community? So yes, there's tons of ideas that, you know, we take from the kids.
And then you bring it into your own life, you know, like even just with the play, the message more is about how can we all connect and be a community?
Yes.
You know, yes, you're Muslim. Yes, I'm Christian. Yes, you're gay. Yes, you're this. Yes, you're, you know, I don't know what you believe in. But what connects us all? There's got to be something that connects us all.
Yes.
And I know as teachers, we're constantly looking for that. What can connect us all?